If World War III kicked off tomorrow, would you actually be ready or just armed? There's a difference. When the grid goes down and the headlines stop, survival isn't about having the biggest gun. It's about having the right mix of tools, gear that keeps you breathing, fed, hydrated, and in the fight. From rifles that run forever to blades that never jam, from quiet hunting setups to real CBRN protection, this list isn't fantasy. It's the practical loadout built for when comfort ends and reality begins. Whether you're protecting family, defending a position, or just making it through the next sunrise, these are the tools that work when luck runs out. Hit that subscribe button and follow Firearm Standard, because when it all goes sideways, information and preparation are the real force multipliers. Ka-Bar USMC Fighting Knife. If you boiled survival down to one tool that never needs batteries and never jams, the Ka-Bar is that tool. It's a fixed-blade, full-tang fighting knife with a plain, robust geometry that's as at-home clearing brush as it is on a survival belt. Design intent, a blade that can be used for fighting, cutting, prying, and basic shelter work without specialized training. In a prolonged disruption scenario, the value of a simple, serviceable knife can't be overstated. It's a maintenance-free workhorse compared with complex kit. Betoning light wood for kindling, clearing small brush lines, opening ration packaging, and simple prying tasks where a screwdriver would normally be used. For defensive use, it's a close-quarters backup when everything else fails, but its practical value is in chores where a solid edge is faster and quieter than a firearm. Acceptance and readiness checks. Ensure the sheath retains the knife securely and that the spine and edge are field sharpened to a known angle so you can maintain an edge with minimal stones. Corrosion control. Keep a light oil film on the blade if stored long-term in humid conditions. Tactical note: train with the knife for efficient, safe cutting and retention. In training scenarios, rotate tasks, cutting cordage, shelter lashings, and food prep, so the tool becomes second nature rather than a curiosity. The Ka-Bar simplicity is its advantage. Pick one that mounts to your belt or vest so it's actually on you when you need it. Gas masks and CBRN protective suits. The survivalist places gas masks and chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear suits at the top for a reason. You can't shoot, hunt, or move to a safe location if you can't breathe, or if toxic contamination makes the environment lethal. A properly fitted respirator with replaceable filters, coupled with a simple protective overgarment, buys you time to evacuate, to shelter in place safely, or to perform limited tasks in contaminated zones. Certified respirators with replaceable particulate and gas cartridges are the baseline. Comfort, field fit testing, and replacement filter availability matter more than a brand name. Seams and closures on suits need to be reliable. Tape-compatible seams and a design that allows layering work with gloves and boots are practical details that save time when you're putting gear on under pressure. Acceptance testing steps. Fit test each mask on every user. Confirm filter shelf life, and practice don-doff drills wearing the full kit so donning becomes fast and safe in stressful environments. Operational advice: store filters in vacuum-sealed packs in a cool, dark place and rotate stock by shelf dates. Practice movement and vision drills while wearing masks and suits. Your field of view narrows and dexterity drops, so train manipulations like reloading, administering first aid, and checking sights while wearing PPE. In short, this gear buys survivable time. Treat its maintenance and training as mission critical. Raven R500 Crossbow. A crossbow like the Raven R500 is overrepresented in survival kits for a reason. It's quiet, reusable, and effective on small to medium game at practical short ranges. When gunfire draws attention, or when ammunition is precious, the crossbow gives you an option to procure food without advertising your location. Unlike primitive bows, modern crossbows have repeatable power, stockable bolts, and scopes that let you achieve quick, ethical head or thorax shots if you practice. How to field it: train on short range, 10-40 yards, target work, until you know you're zero with the bolt type you'll carry. Bolts and broadheads are the consumables. Choose durable, field-repairable points and bring a small survival fletching kit and spare strings. Acceptance testing: chrono bolts for consistent velocity, confirm group size at working distance, and test the cocking and cocking assist system for reliability. Maintenance: keep the rail lubed with rail wax, inspect the string for fraying, and rotate bolts in storage to avoid moisture traps. Tactics and trade-offs: crossbows are stealthy but slow to reload relative to a firearm. Use them when concealment matters and when you can afford a deliberate approach. For small game procurement, they're excellent. For defensive work, their last resort. Pair a crossbow with a lightweight signaling kit and a quiet pack so you can move stealthily and return with harvests without adding a lot of noise. Ruger 1022. The Ruger 1022 is the pragmatic starting point for building real shooting skill without burning large quantities of centerfire ammo. Its 22-long rifle chambering gives huge shot counts per dollar, light recoil that lets you train fundamentals, and enough terminal performance on small game to make it a legitimate survival tool. The platform's vast aftermarket means you can dial ergonomics, sights, and triggers to suit users of different sizes and skill levels while keeping the baseline cheap and durable. How it performs in realistic use. Expect reliable feeding with mainstream 22-long rifle loads from decent magazines. Feeding quirks usually trace back to magazine springs, rim deformation, or dirt. In the field, a 1022 with a simple optic and a modest sling becomes a low-weight hunter/trainer that's easy to carry all day. For survival work, it's not about stopping power. It's about calories per round and the ability to teach someone to make a shot when it matters. Maintenance and spares. Keep spare magazines, a spare charging handle, and a small parts kit, extractor bolt buffer, in your armorer pack. Clean the chamber and feed ramp regularly. Rimfire residue builds quickly. Use a light coat of preservative if stored long-term. For field repairs, carry a small torque wrench or the appropriate punch set and at least one spare magazine spring if you plan sustained training. Training notes. Use the 1022 for dry fire practice, rapid transition drills, and economical marksmanship work. Teach trigger control, sight alignment, and follow-up shots with high repetition until those basics move to muscle memory. When handing the rifle to novices, start with seated, supported positions, then graduate to standing and movement scenarios. Beretta 1301 Tactical. The 1301 Tactical bridges defensive and utility roles. Its semi-automatic gas system softens recoil, enabling faster follow-ups than pump scatterguns in competent hands. The platform's short overall length and tactical furniture make it a natural for urban defense and for hunters who need quick handling in brush. For survival users, it's a flexible option, able to present multiple projectile choices from birdshot for close small game to buckshot for defense. How it performs in realistic use. Softer recoil with standard 2 3/4-inch loads and reliable cycling across a wide range of factory shells when magazines, feed lips, and bolt face are in spec. Low-maintenance designs are less tolerant of steel high-hardness shot if the barrel or internals are worn. Keep choke considerations in mind for patterning. Maintenance and spares. Carry a spare magazine spring and follower, a basic choke wrench if you change chokes in the field, and a shotgun-specific tools kit. Clean the gas system on a schedule proportional to shot count. Shotgun gas fouling will accumulate quickly under heavy use. Use high-quality shell carriers and keep spare tubes or carriers in rotation. Tactical training. Practice malfunctions drills, failure to feed, stovepipe equivalents for shotguns, one-handed manipulations, and close-quarters movement with slung transitions. In a survival environment, train the sling index and raw presentation off different surfaces. Shotgun handling differs from rifle work and needs dedicated practice to be fast and safe. Beretta 92FS. The Beretta 92FS is a full-size metal frame pistol with a long service history. It's reliable, relatively easy to maintain, and its 9mm chambering aligns with widespread logistics. For a survival kit, the 92FS serves as a robust sidearm for those who prefer a longer sight radius and a stable grip platform over the ultra-compact carry options. Field behavior. Expect predictable recoil impulse and serviceable accuracy out of the box with duty-grade 9mm loads. The slide and frame are durable, and the open slide design helps extraction. For long-term storage and intermittent use, the 92FS's metallurgy and parts support mean easier long-term maintenance. Maintenance and spares. Maintain spare magazines, 2 to 3 per issued pistol, springs, and a spare recoil spring assembly. Keep a cleaning kit sized for the pistol and practice field strip and reassembly until it's second nature. For reliability, rotate magazines and springs in service every set number of rounds or time interval. Training notes. Standardize on a single manual of arms and train emergency transitions, from rifle to pistol, and reload speed under stress. The 92FS's long sight radius helps with initial marksmanship training. Use it to teach smooth trigger press and sight recovery before moving to smaller, shorter radius platforms. AR-15 platform. The AR-15 family is valuable because it's a system, not a single gun. Upper-lower swaps, caliber conversions, and a massive spare parts ecosystem let you tailor one chassis to multiple missions. Carbine for close work, longer barrel match upper for overwatch, or a dedicated suppressor-ready host for low-signature tasks. That parts ecosystem also keeps you in the fight when supply is constrained. Springs, extractors, magazines, and charging handles are broadly available and often interchangeable across vendors. How it performs in real use. Expect predictable ergonomics and a familiar manual of arms across configurations. The AR's direct impingement or piston gas systems trade simplicity for some sensitivity to ammo and gas tuning. In survival or austere logistics contexts, pick a setup you can maintain with the parts you can source. For example, a piston variant may tolerate dirty conditions better, but parts and tooling differ. Acceptance testing. Run a minimum 500-round break-in with the specific upper and ammo you plan to use. Include hot, cold, and dust trials if you expect austere environments. Verify magazine compatibility across your inventory and do a 5-shot zero confirmation at your practical engagement distance for each upper configuration. Maintenance and spares. Standardize a compact armorer kit. Spare gas rings or piston parts if you use piston systems, extra bolt carrier groups, spare barrels if you plan caliber swaps, and multiple mission magazines. Field lubrication choice matters. Synthetic carrier oils that resist dust adhesion reduce malfunctions in sandy conditions. Train armorer level users to change gas blocks and to time adjustable gas systems if you run suppressors or mixed load profiles. Common failure modes include gas coking, feed lip deformation on worn magazines, and extractor wear. Mitigate by rotating magazines, keeping spare extraction springs, and logging round counts on mission-critical parts. Springfield M1A. The M1A platform in a modern long-range chambering like 6.5 Creedmoor turns a classic service rifle ergonomics package into a capable reach tool. When you need to control lanes, interdict movement at distance, or take ethical medium-game shots at longer ranges, a stable semi-automatic platform that balances follow-up speed and powerful cartridges is a logical pick. The M1A's build and stock geometry also make it comfortable on long watches. How it behaves practically. Expect a heavier package, but one that soaks recoil and keeps the sights or optic on target for follow-ups compared with thin-profile bolt rifles in the same caliber. Acceptance testing should include a detailed ballistics and zeroing session, chronograph your chosen 6.5 Creedmoor loads, document trajectory to extended ranges you expect to operate in, and run a 100-round reliability pass to confirm feeding from your chosen magazine configuration. For hunting or overwatch, a meat bench and field zeros should be recorded at incremental yard lines, so you know holdovers and energy downrange. Maintenance and logistics. The M1A's parts are generally robust but keep spare magazines, an extra op rod or similar action part if you're running older designs, and a small detail kit for scope, mount, torque, and bedding checks. In a survival context, weight matters. The M1A is an endurance platform better suited to defend a position or to be staged in a cache than to be carried on long patrols. Consider a compact mission upper or a carbine for movement and reserve the M1A for overwatch, long-range harvests, and deterrence. Common failure points in long-term storage are magazine springs and corrosion on stamped parts. Rotate magazines and preserve steel components with light oil and desiccant storage. Tactical note, pair the M1A with optics that match its role. A low magnification variable power scope for flexible ranges or a fixed power scope if you standardize on one engagement band. Practice fast follow-ups from supported positions and rehearse data cards for common engagement distances so you can make rapid, accurate adjustments under stress. MREs and freeze-dried food. When your grocery runs dry and resupply turns into a negotiation, calories win. Meal ready-to-eat rations. Commercial freeze-dried packs buy time because they store long, transport easily, and require minimal preparation. Pick items that match your group's real consumption rates. A single adult needs roughly 2,000 to 3,000 kilocalories per day under light activity, more if you're hauling gear. Count days, not menus. Start by building a 2-week baseline and expand to a 30 to 90-day goal as logistics permit. Rotation is the practical detail that separates a useful cache from rancid waste. Use the oldest packs first in everyday outings or training trips so the stash is always fresh. Mark manufacture and planned rotate dates on each container. Consider variety and nutrition. MREs are high-calorie and rugged, but can be high in sodium and low in micronutrients. Add vitamin C packets, electrolyte mixes, and lightweight canned or vacuum-sealed protein to balance the diet. Don't forget simple comfort items. A morale bar, coffee, or flavored drink mix drastically improves decision-making when stress is high. Preparation and stove choices matter. Freeze-dried meals rehydrate quickly with hot water. If you lack a stove, choose options that rehydrate with cold water or include flameless ration heaters. Test your field kit. Time to prepare, fuel consumption per meal, and waste footprint, packaging you must carry out. Finally, pack for redundancy. If you rely on a single brand or type and that supplier fails, you've created a single point of failure. Diversify caloric sources across MREs, freeze-dried pouches, and compact high-calorie bars so your diet stays reliable even when delivery lines break. Portable water filters. Water is non-negotiable. In survival settings, the ability to turn local sources into safe drinking water is one of the highest value skills and pieces of kit you can own. Mechanical filters, like the Life Straw and Sawyer Mini, remove bacteria, protozoa, and particulates. Many models also handle a substantial volume before service is needed. Choose a filter based on flow rate, pore rating, 0.1 to 0.2 micron for most pathogens, and ease of backflush or cleaning in the field. A small pump filter or squeeze filter gives more control and higher flow than a simple straw. Field testing beats theory. Before you rely on any filter, run it in several local water types, clear stream, slow pond, and turbid runoff, to learn flow behavior and how often the unit needs backflushing. Carry a two-layer approach, a mechanical filter for particulates plus a chemical or thermal backup, sodium dichloroisocyanurate or iodine tablets, and a lightweight stove capable of boiling small volumes provide redundancy if the filter clogs or fails. Store filter spare parts and membranes in a dry pouch with silica desiccant and keep a small syringe or cleaning tool to backflush on the trail. Practical use items. Carry collapsible bladder or 1-liter bottles that attach to the filter system and plan for daily water consumption rates. At minimum 1 liter per person per day in cool conditions, more in heat or during heavy exertion. Filter maintenance is simple but non-negotiable. Backflush on schedule, avoid freezing the membrane, and replace cartridges when flow rate drops or after manufacturer recommended volumes. Lastly, train everyone in the group on filter setup and repair. The best filter is useless if only one person knows how to use it. Underground shelters or rural bug-out spots. Secure bases for protection, storage, and long-term survival. A defensible location changes the equation. Whether it's a hardened underground cache or a rural bug-out site, a secure base gives you shelter, storage, and the ability to manage resources over time. Location selection matters. Pick a site with access to potable water or a nearby reliable source, good concealment from approach routes, and options for alternate egress. Soil, flood risk, and local climate determine construction methods and ventilation needs for an underground shelter. If you choose a rural bug-out spot, prioritize fields of fire, natural cover, and lines of resupply or barter within a reasonable radius. Storage and layout are pragmatic priorities. Designate zones for food, water, medical supplies, and weapons, and ensure each zone has a redundant access point. Keep sensitive supplies, filters, batteries, meds, in sealed, desiccant-equipped containers and rotate stocks into everyday use to avoid expiration. Ventilation and condensation control are the most common failures underground. Plan active or passive ventilation, include heat sources for cold weather, and use vapor barriers to keep stored goods dry. Power considerations matter. A small solar array with battery storage can run lights, comms, and a pump, but size it to priorities rather than gadgets. Security and habitability intersect. Build layered security, natural concealment, noise discipline, and prepared fallback positions. Train entry and challenge procedures so everyone knows how to approach or deny access. Habitability is often overlooked. Sanitation, potable water processing, and waste management directly affect long-term survival. Rehearse resupply runs and cache rotation under load so the team can move without panic. Finally, paperwork and legal considerations. Understand land ownership, access rights, and local laws before investing in a fixed site. A shelter only works if you can legally, ethically, and practically access and hold it when needed. Survival isn't about panic buying or stacking guns to the ceiling. It's about systems that keep you alive when everything else collapses. The smartest prepper isn't the one with the most expensive rifle, but the one who can eat, drink, and defend for weeks without outside help. Every item in this list earns its place because it solves a real-world problem. Train with your gear, rotate your supplies, and build habits before the emergency starts. When the sirens fade and comms go silent, skill and preparation beat luck every time. If this breakdown helped you think beyond the trigger, hit subscribe and follow Firearm Standard, where we talk tools, tactics, and the mindset that actually keeps you in the fight.